Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are joined again by Tristen Sky. Excited to have our psychic medium here to talk today more about different types of spirit beings like angels, those departed loved ones, ascended masters, star seeds, and more. And
Yep.
once again, we are excited to have you back here today. How are you?
Hi, Jill. I'm so good. I'm super excited to talk about all the fun things today. I'm
Well,
really
so are
excited.
we. Always, always. Just want to point out that Tristen Sky can be reached at TristenSky.com. And of course, on all social media platforms as well. And just a little bit about your background. I can tell them you're from Ontario, Canada, but tell us a little overview of who you are as a channeler, as a psychic medium. How would I describe you?
You got it. Okay, so yes, my name is Tristen Sky and I'm from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, and I'm a psychic medium. So I'm a very sensitive person. I'm sensitive to energy. So what I do is that I connect with people online through Zoom, kind of like how we are right now, or in person, and I pass along messages from the other side because not only am I sensitive to people, I'm also sensitive to the energies on the other side. So my sessions are usually revolving two specific things. The first one is healing, so how to heal yourself or heal others, or there's always something to heal, or igniting awareness and consciousness. I love to make people think and wonder. I love to like ignite something that makes them go, maybe there's more to
Hmm.
life than this. And I come from a teaching background. I was a high school teacher for 2 to 3 years. So a big part of my work is teaching, but in a spiritual way, like teaching mystical things, teaching about things I'm more passionate about. But that's who I am. Yes, it
All right.
is.
Well, we're excited to have you back as always and excited for today's topic of conversation. Let's get started. I know off the top I mentioned the term spirit beings. What exactly
Mhm.
are spirit beings?
Yes. Okay. So as a medium, so we talked a lot about it last week, the difference between psychic and medium. But as a medium, what we do is we connect to energies on the other side. So these are spirit beings. Okay. So our past loved ones, that's the one of the most popular ones. It's when a soul crosses over to the other side, that's like they become a spirit being and we communicate to them. But the universe is huge. Like the universe never ends. It's hard to wrap my head around that one. Like it never ends. So there's so much on the other side. There's so many different dimensions. There's thousands of dimensions. Earth is just one of them. 3D is just one dimension. So there's so much on the other side alongside spirit guide. It's kind of like we talked about. There are angels, there's beautiful angels, there's star beings, there's so much on the other side that we can connect to. And that's a spirit being.
All right. I'm like, yeah, well, it's star being. I wasn't familiar with that term until today either.
Hmm. Well,
Mm.
that's like a fancy term for aliens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, star beings.
All
Yeah.
right. So, what type of spirit in particular do you communicate with, would you say?
Right. So with my clients, a lot of the time it's past loved ones, right? So I believe that we are a soul. It's not that we have a soul, but we are a soul. And once we cross over, that energy, that soul still exists. It's just it exists
Okay.
interdimensionally. So I talk to a lot of past loved ones, but for me it's angels. I love me some angels. So archangels, angels, they kind of like many different religions talk about angels, but again, I'm not really religious, I'm spiritual, so it's what I came to discover about angels. But angels are just like beings of light that have never been on earth, so they were never human. Well, there's some exceptions, but they were never human, and they
Okay.
just radiate love and light. They're just good, like really good, benevolent energies. So I like to work with them, right? Because they have good vibes. So each angel has like a different frequency. Like there's so many, like one of the most popular ones is Archangel Michael. So he's very protective.
I always hear about them. Yeah. So hold on. There's really one Archangel Michael
Yes,
that connects to you, to other mediums. Wow.
exactly.
How
Yeah.
does he get there all the same places at once? It's like,
Good question.
right? Because someone could be in Texas doing a reading and be
Yep,
with, but that's true, right? They have that
correct. Because
ability.
yes, yes, time and space is very different on the other side. There's no past, no present, no future on the other side, which is again hard to wrap our brains around because we're human, and in the human world, we have a past, present, future. Like we exist within time, but on the other side, time doesn't exist that way. So yes, Archangel Michael could be here and somewhere else and everywhere at once. It's yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's
Give
true.
me an example. So if he comes through or has come through for you on a reading, what are some of the things like he says? Does he have a certain personality you just pick up on?
Yes.
You know, like,
Yes, yes. It's kind of like a different person each. So if we just go in the angel realm, they each have a different frequency. So Archangel Michael is, I adore this energy. When he comes, it's a very masculine, protective energy. He's the one with the sword. Not actually, he doesn't actually have a sword.
uh-huh.
The imagery, it's with a sword, and he's very protective, masculine. Kind of, if you feel like scared, like sometimes people are scared, like to walk in the night or something like that, he comes up to protect you. So it's a very protective, masculine. He's who's like, his name is something like Archangel Michael means one who's like God. So he's like very
Wow.
similar to that essence, but they're not really a person, right? They're not a person with wings, you know. It's just like an energy, but it kind of looks like wings. So it kind of looks like a person with wings, but it's not a person with wings. But yeah, that's Archangel Michael.
All right. Now, how does it work with other religions and all, right? Because if someone doesn't believe in, like, how does that, so do different angels, guides come to you from different backgrounds? How do I say
Well,
that?
yeah, that's the thing. It's with spirit beings, spirit guides, it's almost like they all exist, okay? They're all real. Like depending who you okay, so how do I say this? So firstly, yes, I believe in angels, and let's say the Christians, I don't okay, I'm not religious, so I don't know, don't quote me, but let's say they discovered angels first, and then they wrote it in the Bible, they discovered an angel. Well, someone from a different religion could also discover an angel and perhaps call it something else. Do you know what I mean? So they're all real. They're all real. So I just talk about what I came to learn and experience, but in a way they're all real. And like I said, different religions, like for instance, there's how do I what do they call it? Like the Greek gods, like there's I forget their names, like Mercury, what's the words? The Greek gods, do you know the Greek gods? What are they called? Hold
I
on.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, that's not your field of study,
Okay,
it's
I'm like,
mine. But they're all real. They're all real.
okay.
They really are.
Apostole, I'm thinking of a Greek name. I don't know.
Maybe.
All
But
right,
like
all right.
in the angel realm, there's another one I worked with a lot was Archangel Jophiel. So this one has like a very feminine energy and connects to beauty. So when her energy comes, I usually smell flowers and I see the color yellow. And it is for other people too. They see and feel the similar things. And she just makes you feel pretty. It's like, you're beautiful, take care of yourself, you're amazing. So it's kind of interesting how like people who are psychics and mediums and the spiritual people, we all kind of sense it's like we see the same things. It's like we sense and see the same thing. So it kind of confirms what we're seeing. It's kind of like, oh, well, we just saw the same thing. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, let's move on and let's talk more now about I guess it's the departed loved ones, as you call them, right? You can, talk to them.
Yeah, of course. So again, within my readings, and if people want to talk to their departed loved ones, you go see a medium, a psychic medium. And I want to say just on this note, a lot of people try to do it themselves. Like they'll go to Ouija boards or tarot cards and all these things, and that's okay too. But I think it's important just to see a professional because they really know what they're doing and they can know which energies to talk with. Because if you
Okay.
just want to talk to the other side, who knows who you'll call or, who knows who will come. But professionals, they know exactly what energies they know how to do it. But yes, departed loved ones are always around. They're always loving by, they could have died. So for instance, I had an uncle who passed away before I was born, but he's around. And I think that's really cool. Also, what I think is interesting, like my grandmother passed away when I was 3. So she's in the sky, is what I like to call it. And then when my sister was giving birth to babies, it's like she met those, like she had, like they were in the sky at the same time because the babies were with grandma and then the babies got born. So on the other
She
side, like
sent them down.
basically, well, she met them,
Oh
kind of
my
like already
gosh.
loved them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, connecting to past loved ones is super, super important and lovely and really big part of my work. Um, and anyone can do it. Like I said, anyone can sense their loved ones around. Like there's loved ones around us all the time. I feel like we get 3 to 4 visitations a day from our loved ones. Those are the ones that were on Earth and then departed. So they love us, they love us. specifically us. Whereas archangels, they love all of us. They're not really specific to one person. Like I said, Archangel Michael, he's here, there, everywhere. Whereas if we have a grandma or uncle or brother, whoever, they're always nearby, which is just so beautiful.
Oh my goodness. All right, this is exciting. And I love hearing it. So you say that like the soul, the body dies, but the soul doesn't and
Right.
exists, but not physically.
Correct.
So you just tap into that energy and communicate
Correct.
with them. Oh my
That's
goodness.
exactly it. That's mediumship. Yes. It's
Okay, okay.
literally talking to souls who are departed. So it's communicating. Yes, it's really cool.
All right. What else did you want to share next? Do you want to discuss more about the spirit guides and what they are?
Yes. So spirit guides are similar to angels, but they're specifically yours. Okay. So we're all in the before life. So before we were incarnated on earth, we're kind of met with our spirit guides. Okay. So let's
Okay.
say in the before life. So in the sky, when we're just soul, we talk to our spirit guides. So these are energies that follow us from before we're born, all of life until after life. So it's kind of like your own team of angels. That's a spirit guide. It's like your own personal team, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So often, actually, when I do my work, I connect to someone's spirit team. I connect to their spirit guides. So I connect to their spirit guides and their past loved ones. That's kind of like what I see. So spirit guides were never human. They exist in the
Oh,
spiritual realm. Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that because the spirit guides were never human. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our past loved ones were human, of course, but the spirit
Yeah.
guides were not. Yeah. And that's who I communicate to. And they're specifically yours. Like they're your team. Like when I have, okay, so I'll talk about mine. Okay. So one of my, I have a lot. I have a lot. Like I have like around 12 spirit guides, which is a
Stop
lot.
bragging, Tristan.
Well,
I'm joking.
well, I mean, part of being, I feel like I need a lot with the work I do.
Yeah.
But like one of them has a very like okay, it connects to nature. So whenever I'm in nature, I feel this spirit guide come through. Okay. And she kind of help, I call it a she, but there's no gender on the other side. But it has a
Mm-hmm.
feminine energy. Anyway, so she connects me to the whispers of nature and helps me understand nature and see nature. Cool. I have another spirit guides that I almost feel like is a drag queen. It's like a very confident male, masculine, female
Okay.
type of, which I adore, which I'm like, that's super cool. And it
Mm-hmm.
makes me realize that there's holiness and something sacred within that type of duality within gender. So that's cool. I have another spirit guide that's like Indian. Well, again, there's no race on the other side, but it reminds me of like an Indian energy, like very like with like a big beard. And this spirit guide comes through with meditation and like sacred energy. So I have my own team of spirit guides that pop in and out. Within that, also my past loved ones, like my grandma's always around. So all of us have lots of spirit guides. Like I'm sure you have one that's really good for broadcasting and television. Like
I
whenever
guess,
you're,
I guess. I don't know, right? How
yeah.
do I know?
I'm sensing that, but it doesn't
I,
matter. It doesn't matter as long as we just feel loved and supported. Sometimes we don't know who it's from, but we just feel that support. I think that's what matters the most. But me, I had to kind of dissect and figure out what are
well,
these energies
do
around
we
me.
share spirit guides or they're individual to you and only you, your whole life here on Earth?
You and only you, spirit guides. Yes.
Really? So my kids have their own different spirit guides.
For sure. Yes, they do, depending on their purpose and their path. Of course,
Ah,
they'll have past loved ones will
okay.
will share. For instance, my grandma's with me, but she's also with my sister. My grandfather is with me, but also my father, etc. But our spirit team, like our spirit guides, they're very personal to you and only you, which makes it super special. And they are like our cheerleaders. They kind of talk to us. It's kind of like, let's say you're walking in a forest and you don't know if you should go left or right, but
That's
something's pulling
telling
you
you.
to go left. And then you trust that little voice, and then you, I don't know, find money on the ground or you find a long
Mm-hmm.
lost best friend. That's your spirit guides, just like yelling and talking to you. They're the angels on your shoulder.
Okay, just okay, what happens when you cross over to the other side? Do your spirit guides now find another human body soul to talk to and watch over, or do they retire? I'm just,
Good question.
do you know? Maybe you
So,
don't know. I'm not trying to
well,
trick you. I'm just curious.
no, that's a great question. From what I came to realize is that we live, so this is another topic as well, but we live multiple lives as well. So we kind of return to wherever we come from, the stardust, the stars, the universe, our spirit team, our past loved ones, love and light. And then it's kind of like a boardroom meeting, kind of like, what's our next steps? Do we go back to Earth? Who do we going to be? What lessons do I want to learn on
Yeah.
Earth? So, for instance, if I want to learn about greed, maybe I'll be born rich so I can learn about that lesson. Or if I want to learn about survivals, maybe I'll be born in a troubling country or something. So we kind of go back into the boardroom meeting of the sky, let's say, to figure out what do we need to evolve. Because that's what I think we're here on Earth is to learn lessons and evolve. That's why we're here. And
Does that mean eventually one day we're going to have this amazing world with really love and peace and no crime and no violence? Or no, there's always going to be souls that need to work on things, and therefore we're going to still have that here on Earth, if that
well,
makes
it's
sense.
interesting. I talk about one of my good friends about this, and we see things completely different. For instance, I think we're born good but learn to be bad, whereas
Hmm.
he thinks we're born bad but learn to be good. And I'm like, that's just backwards. I don't see it that way.
Uh-huh.
I'm very hopeful and optimistic, so of course I see world peace and heaven on earth. I see that. That's the whole point. That's kind of why I'm here. That's why I think so. I think so. I do. I think I see the lights at the end of the tunnel for here on earth. Hmm?
Awesome. Okay, okay. Next up, let's see, where are we? Archangels, we kind of touched upon a little already. Do you want to talk more about them again, or was there?
Well, angels save our lives. Angels are so powerful and benevolent. So, for instance, I swear to God, in angels, I was almost in a car accident, and it's like I felt an angel. It's because I wasn't paying it. I was looking at
It
my makeup in the
happens.
mirror, which is very Tristan to do. But I felt like an angel tap me on my shoulder and kind of like look at the road, and it felt like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I was like, Angel just saved my freaking life, believe it or not. But as a like as a spiritual person, like who I am, that's literally what happened. I was like, wow, it's just a benevolent, good energy that care about the humanity and love and light on earth. So, and yeah, they come up a lot during sessions. So if there's someone healing or someone going through something, there could be an angel
Yeah.
nearby assisting you.
Ooh, I love it. And like right now, can you feel or sense what's around you?
Archangel Michael. I think maybe because we summoned him and it's interesting, I feel him greatly. And it's very protective, very strong, very like a
Is he
bright
worried
light.
about me like attacking you? Oh, no, no. I mean,
No, not you.
but we,
Not you.
well, he could say that girl you're talking to is really mean, bad energy, or she's like, and do they?
No.
Okay, good, good.
No, well,
Uh,
I'm intuitive, but around you, I actually feel Archangel Raphael, which is the Archangel of Healing. It's a green energy. You can look him up,
Okay,
but
write
yeah,
it down.
he's the Archangel of Healing. So there could be something we're healing through, but very, yeah, he reminds me of nature, of like green, of just health and beauty. So he's around you. I definitely see, and you have like a grandma around you, right? There's definitely a grandma around you. Do you know
Well,
that?
yeah, I don't know. I don't. It could be my mom who was a grandma, or it could be my grandma or my grandma or my great
Yeah,
grandma. How do
you're
you
right.
know?
Well, I don't. Well, I could
Right.
figure it out, but I definitely feel a feminine loving energy who's around, but we could talk about that at a different time. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely sense a feminine energy around you.
Awesome,
Very loving.
awesome. All right. And what about these ascended masters? And what is that? What category is that?
So these are people who were on Earth and crossed over and choose
Okay.
to help humanity. So the biggest, most popular example is Jesus. So Jesus was said to be a person who lived on Earth and was a really good person, right? And now serves on the other side to help people. Do you know what I mean? Like, because most people like don't do that. Once they cross over, they don't help humanity. They kind of just stick around with their little cluster, their family. But ascended masters devote their life to helping other people. So Jesus is one of them. And
Okay.
again, I don't come from that religion. Like, I'm not Catholic, not Christian, but it wasn't until I felt Jesus come through sessions, specifically when I had a client who's religious. And I was like, okay, I feel Jesus nearby. And they're like, oh, yeah, I talk to him all the time. And I was like, okay, cool. So maybe believe in Jesus, but there's so many. And this is when it
I was
comes
going
to
to say, well, what other ascending masters are that? All I know is about like Jesus, or maybe his dad God, or like maybe the
Y-
Blessed Mother. What type
yeah,
of other ascended masters are there?
great question. So, yes, there's Jesus, there's Mother Mary, there's a bunch from that clan, and I believe in them, and I believe they're all good and they have good energy. There's Kuan Yin, which I love, who's Asian, Japanese. It's a feminine figure, so she
Oh,
comes with gentleness. Um, Again, there's the Greek stuff that I forget. My gosh, but there's so many. Mary Magdalene,
okay.
the Buddha, Krishna, Green Tara. Like there's so many that come to us. I work a lot with Kuan Yin because she's a feminine purple, yeah, just a really nice energy. But those are ascended masters, yes. Ooh, Metatron. I love Archangel Metatron. So Like I said, there's two that I know of that became angels, and that's Metatron. He's one of them. But yes, ascended
Well,
masters are always around us too, and they're busy. Like how many people pray to Jesus? Like he's
that's
a
what I'm
busy.
saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I never heard of Metatron either. Come on, you know, gotta Google these people or these
Yes.
ascended masters. I don't want to call them people if they're not people. Um, and what about, okay, this is like the coolest story. I'm dying to go to like Iceland or Finland, and you went to Iceland to study elves?
Yeah, elves. Okay, so let's talk about that.
I'm like, is it spelled wrong? Like Eleves, making leaves. Maybe it doesn't. Fairies or elves? Explain this. This is so cool.
Synonyms. So over like 50% of the population in Iceland believe in elves, which I'm obsessed with. Okay, so what I came to realize, and I think we talked a bit about this too, about fairy energy, but there's an energy that exists within nature. So similar, so angels are skybound, they come from the sky. Fairies, elves, let's say, they come from the earth, so they're earthbound, but it's like an invisible, interdimensional energy that kind of exists within nature. Again, benevolent, very nice energy, and it's sparkly and it's small, and like I feel it. It exists. So I went to Iceland, which I absolutely love. Recommend if you love nature. It's just a different world. There's volcanoes and waterfalls, like it's crazy, but half the people believe in it. So I feel like it kind of helps. Like if everyone's skeptical in the room, then it's hard for me to kind of do my
Hmm.
thing. But if the whole country believes in stuff, well, then it was easier for me
Yeah.
to tap into that vibe. But yeah, elves, it's synonym to fairy. They exist within nature totally. And what's a bit different though is that they're kind of egoish because they're earthbound, so that's why they kind of like to play tricks on you, or they don't love to serve people as much as angels do. Like that's not their mission, but they exist, and it's a really cool energy to explore with.
Okay. Does this also qualify as a leprechaun? Or they don't
Yeah,
exist, or is that it, my son believes? I don't know. It's the same.
your children believe in leprechauns? That my
Jackson
follow-up question.
does. Yes.
Yes, my follow-up thing was that children see angels, see fairies, see all these things. Like we're more connected to that. Like when I was a kid, I was totally all up in that. Um, yes, they exist. And again, they're like I don't know because they're it's like depending what country you're from, we all call it something different. Leprechaun, elf, fairy, but it's an energy that
They.
exists within nature. And again, we see them like in our dreams or even in person. And and kids are they're so tapped to that energy.
Yeah, he made me
Adults,
watch a YouTube video about some guy who spent his whole life. He saw one in Ireland, and then he
mm,
opened his house up to it, and he's like
hmm
preaches about it, talks about it, and like he had some YouTubers come visit to see if they could find them. They couldn't, but like legit and like legit. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm like, you're
Heck yeah,
right.
I'm right. Heck yeah, I'm right. They're usually around nature for sure. And they don't like people. They're a little bit trickier to hunt down, let's say, because they like nature and flowers and rivers. So
Yeah.
if you come in with that energy, then you would be able to sense them. But yeah, it's sparkly, it's interdimensional. And again, it's like a person, but not. But it's like, or like a butterfly. I describe it like a butterfly or a bug. You know what I mean? Like it kind of has its own ego, own its own identity. Fairies and stuff like that come a bit less in my session unless I know someone is meant to play with that energy or discover that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's definitely something that exists in the world interdimensionally for sure.
Ooh, I love this conversation. All right, what else do we have? By the way, Tristen Sky here. We got forgot to remind everyone how we contact you again. Just share with us, please.
Sure. So if anyone wants to learn more about Ascended Masters, angels, or anything like that, we could definitely get together and see who's on your team, which spirit guides, which angels,
Mm-hmm.
etc. For instance, Archangel Metatron is really within me almost all the time, and my grandma.
Okay.
So www.tristensky.com. That's where you can book a session. You can send me an email there. I'm also on Instagram at Tristen.sky. And yeah, let's chat.
All right, we still have more time. So star being we kind of touched upon before. You said a fancy word for aliens. Then there's some other
Oh,
things.
right.
I don't know how to pronounce any of these
I
things.
got you. I got you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, have you heard of star seed before?
Mm-mm, not till today.
Okay, so star seeds are people. So I'm a star seed. Okay, so these are people who are different, the special ones. And it said that we come from another star, another galaxy, another planet. Like we come from elsewhere to bring light and love to this planet, which kind of feels like my job. Okay. So that's a star seed. Okay. It's kind of people with like the alien DNA, which sounds very abracadabra-y, but I'm just saying what I know. So star beings, like I said, the galaxy never ends. The universe is huge. So there's so many
Mm-hmm.
different types of beings that exist. For instance, there's Pleiadians. So Pleiadians are tall beings of light. So love and light. So again, they're almost like humans, we kind of struggle with what to do sometimes. Like I said, the world, there's theft and like there's war, there's so much. Star beings tend to be much more benevolent than us, similar to angels, but not. So there's Palladians, and I feel like that's where I come from. It's like the energy that I connect to. These people's, this energy, it's highly sensitive, they're loving, they're bright, they're light. And I can almost detect when star seeds, people in this world have that energy. It's usually because they're nervous, highly sensitive, and they care about the world. They feel like they need to change the world, bring peace to the land. So that's Palladian. So they exist in the galaxy, but some humans on Earth carry that DNA, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Hmm.
Interesting. Ooh. All
I
right.
know.
What's the next one?
Yeah, well, there's so many, but there's a couple that I studied with the most of. There's also Lemurians, so
Lemurian.
very
Mm-hmm.
similar. These people connect a lot to water. These star beings, they almost look like cats when I see them. They have like cat-like features, like big ears and like a pointy nose. This type of alien. I was so scared when I used to see these beings because I was like, that's not an angel. That's not a departed loved one. And then I came to discover that they're star beings. And then there's also Arcturians, and these ones are
Oh,
blue. So it's kind of like your stereotypical alien. They have big eyes and they have like blue skin, and they're very intelligent. They're very brainy and smart. So yeah, so sometimes I connect to these star beings. Like sometimes not all the time, depending on the person, but like sometimes they'll come if they have a certain medicine here. Does that make sense?
yeah. But I was thinking of Smurfs, the blue people. But anyway, I'm listening. Yeah.
No, Arcturians. So like a lot of like spiritual intelligent people, like the brainy people, will have Arcturian energy. Lemurians are usually really connected to water. It's crazy. I had a Lemurian client and she's like, I go swimming every day, and like she lived in Hawaii and she had like a third, like she moved to Hawaii to be closer to the water. And I was like, I keep seeing Lemurians around you. And she's like, oh, I knew that. So it's interesting. But yeah, I feel like I have Palladian energy. So I'm like, yep, I come from a different planet. No big deal.
No, that's awesome. So I got them. So I'm learning my terminology, Lemurians and
Mm.
Arcturians. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, perfect, perfect. Now it's just this is fascinating work. Do you sleep at night?
You know
How is
what?
your sleep? Are your dreams like real dreams? Like I love dreams. I feel like it's all real, but like how do you dream at night? Is it different for you as a psychic medium?
Well, to be honest, I'm divinely guided. Every night before bed, I feel my angels nearby, but sometimes I feel the aliens and the starseed energy. But you know what? I think it's because during the day, I'm always dreaming, talking to the other side, psychic stuff. So when it's time to go to sleep, I'm knocked out. It's black. Like I don't see anything. Whereas my sister, that's where she gets her psychic visions. She'll see things in her dreams, and then it comes true, or she'll have visitations from her past loved ones during the nights. So a lot of people, do this during their dreams. For me, I'm asleep. Because I do this when I'm awake. So when I'm asleep, I'm out. But yeah.
Wait, so I'm sorry. I know we talked about your family before, but your sister has the full gift. She's fully a psychic medium like you?
Yeah. Even not like me. I mean, I'm the good one.
You're
So
like, I'm superior, but not in a
that's
bad way,
right.
but
I'm
she's very connected too.
yes. Yes, she is. But like yes, she is. She is. But I mean,
Wow.
not as strong as me. Like I'm like, this is my life passion. Like, but she'll say things sometimes, she'll have a dream and it comes true. And I'm like, oh, you little psychic. Yeah, she does. Yeah. Me and my sister. And my grandmother who departed as well. My grandma Joan, she was psychic too.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is awesome. All right, all right. How did you want to end up for today?
Just love and lights. Love you. Love to everyone watching. And yeah, I hope to clients come see me. We can definitely chat and I can help you discover your spirit team for sure.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure seeing you, Tristen Sky. Thanks for filling us in. I love all the details. And Awesome. And you look great as always. Just be careful with that makeup and driving. I've done it myself. I get
Yeah,
it.
well,
Happens. But
yeah, now
lately
I
I have
know.
two cats and I have a lot of hair in my eyelashes. So I'm driving, I'm looking in the mirror like this. And the other day I was like, oh, it's like, oh,
Mm,
yeah, it happens. It happens. But good reminder to breathe and we gotta refocus. Okay, we can get through
yes,
this. Thank you
yes.
so much, Tristan. I appreciate your time today, as always.
You're welcome, my dear. See you next time.
All
Bye.
right, sounds good. Bye bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.